So ever since the beginning, hip hop has had many solid female MCs. From Roxanne Shante to Queen Latifah to Lil Kim to Rhapsody and way more. But for some reason, they don't get the respect that they deserve, I'd say. Welcome to the Bar for Bar podcast, and today we're talking about why female MCs don't get the respect they deserve, or what are some of the reasons for it. Let's get into it. So, there's a few reasons. We'll just kind of lay them out to you at the top. The biggest thing is, I think a lot of people recently, like in the last maybe 10-ish years, have kind of decided that they don't really care about what the female rappers have to say. Knowing damn well that most of them rap about the same sort of things that their male counterparts do. Aside from that, people just, related to that, I guess. People feel like they can't really relate to what the female rapper's talking about. Because again, hip-hop is a very male-dominated sport. Meaning the people in it are mostly male, or at least the ones that are well-known. And a lot of the people who listen to it are male. So there's a lot of people who are just like, I can't relate to this. Why would I listen to it? Okay. And then it starts to get a little disrespectful. So first, they say, well, all they rap about is sucking dick and having sex. I don't want to rap along with someone saying they sucking a dick. I ain't about that. Now, okay, cool. Toxic masculinity aside, sure, not everyone wants to suck a dick. But that goes into, they just can't rap good. Which is the biggest lie I've ever heard. And now I think it's time to get into those things. So the first thing I mentioned, again, was just people can't relate to it or they don't want to hear what they're talking about. Fine. But if you look on the other hand, you have plenty of men in the rap game who rap about things that most women probably don't care about. Like, most women probably don't care about how you sold all those drugs. Most women probably don't care about, all the cars you got. Those are stereotypes. I know there's more to it. I'm talking about the generic thing, because these are just assumptions that men are making about female rappers. So it's fair to look at the other side, where women make assumptions about male rappers. Now, aside from men doing the same thing, they just straight up say that they aren't interested. Fine, you can be uninterested in the subject matter, but that doesn't mean you have to disregard the entirety of them, I guess you could say. You can't just disregard all female rappers just because you don't like what some female rappers are saying. Like I said, you can't relate to it because you're a man. You can't relate to a female rapper if they're talking about things that are specific to them. But that is also the case with a lot of male rappers. They talk about a lot of their experiences, like how they were in the trap, cooking up some of that good. But they don't, most of the people listening to it aren't in the trap. I ain't in the trap. Why would I want to listen to music if I was in the trap? No. I more mean, why would I want to, it doesn't make sense for me to like coke rap if that is not a thing I can relate to. But I still listen to it, and it is still one of my favorite subgenres of rap. So that argument is completely invalidated by the fact that you don't have to be in that sort of realm or environment to relate to it. There are aspects of it that you can still relate to. Not all female rappers are going to be talking about things that are specifically meant for women. They're talking about things in general. If you look at sa-roc, like her latest album touches on obviously some things in the culture that are more focused on women, but she also talks about a lot of other things, like the song with Black Thought. That is a song about a Black Renaissance. Like, that's literally the title of the song. And sure, like, some people I can see don't really like that. Like, I mean, the other songs that she makes that are more meant for her audience, which tends to be more women. But you have to also understand, like, she doesn't necessarily, like, you don't have to listen to everything. Like, things you don't like. You know, like, if it doesn't mesh with you, cool. But that doesn't mean you dismiss everyone. Like, that's what a lot of people do, I feel. Like, the biggest female rapper now is probably a mix of Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and Megan Thee Stallion. What are they rapping about that men can relate to? Probably not a whole lot, but a lot of people people who like hip hop aren't gonna be mad that there's a Nicki Minaj feature or a Megan Thee Stallion feature, which is fine. The problem arises when they start, like, if they see a Cardi B feature, because Cardi B typically makes more music that is very blunt, but they don't like her because of the way she raps and what she raps about. But to me, Cardi B is one of the most charismatic rappers out there. Like, she has one of the best flows out. She has, like, so much presence on the track. So it's like, that is another, like, your comment or your thoughts are invalidated with that, because, like, you have these rappers who, like, I don't listen to Cardi B, but I appreciate what she has, like, brings to the table. The other things to look at are, like, what they rap about still. Like, so what was the last point I made? They talk about things that are more than just things that women deal with. So they talk about just stuff in the culture like other men would do. They talk about just daily life shit. They talk about, some of them talk about selling drugs. Some of them talk about high fashion. I mean, Griselda has built a whole label and, like, the whole thing again about making these kind of grimy beats that are more like essentially coke rap, but this is very grimy and gritty, which most people would assume that they wouldn't hear a female rapper on. But then they signed Armani Caesar, and she can rap her ass off. And she's rapping about the same things that Griselda would be rapping about. Like, you listen to Conway and Benny, like, she'd be rapping about the same things. So it's like, how are you going to argue that female rappers, like, you can't relate to them, or, like, you don't like what they're talking about, when they talk about literally the same thing that everyone's talking about currently? Now, some things to focus on with female rappers, because there's again a variety. You get ones that are more into conscious rap, like Rhapsody or sa-roc. You get more people that are into lyrics, which again combines part of the conscious rap, but also includes people like Shay Noir and I just said her name, Armani Caesar, and even Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj to an extent. Like, they may not be coined as lyricists, but they got bars. And then obviously you got radio stuff. Like, I mean, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, they make music that is more popular. So it's more stuff that is for the radio. Now, again, that's not to make it sound like it's a negative thing. The radio music is fine. Like, it's not necessarily my cup of tea because it's very high energy and just kind of basic on some levels. But there's some there's some radio music that's decent. Like the radio's changed entirely, so it's really weird to even say radio music. But yeah, there's like just so much variety, and I just mentioned all those people. Like they're different. Like if you want to listen to just bars and conscious rap, Rhapsody is your girl. Like she is solid as fuck. Like she is one of the best MCs I've ever heard of. And actually, I think a good way to see if a female MC is someone to look at, like in terms of like their music, is actually to just see if Black Thought has done a track with them. Not even gonna lie, because Black Thought is revered as one of the greatest lyricists out. Now, if he is gonna get on a track, you're probably in for a good time, you know? Like he was on Shay Noir's album this year. He was on sa-roc's album this year, and I'm pretty sure he's done a track with Rhapsody. I just can't think of it right now. So if you have an elite lyricist teaming up with these people, you can assume that they're in the same wheelhouse as him. Now, if that doesn't make you even consider the option of listening to the female MC, like I don't know what to tell you, because like they got bars. They honestly they have more work ethic than a lot of male rappers. They rap their ass off, and like the majority of the time it's hella good. Like I don't think there's any, I mean obviously no, well that's, I'm not going to say that. There are more than likely some female rappers that aren't that great. That is always going to be the case. So let's get that out of the way. But like the majority of them are pretty damn solid. Like you're not going to have a moment where you're just like, oh yeah, no, they just ain't that good. I don't even know why I spent this time listening or looking for a female rapper that was good. But no, like honestly, you're going to find something that you enjoy. Like it makes no sense to me that like you don't want to hear it. Like I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I don't know what sort of music it's like, or subgenre or whatever the fuck it is that you're into. But if you're just straight up saying, I ain't listening to female MCs, they ain't nothing. Like what is wrong with you? Honestly. Because like I just want to know. Like you can't just be like that. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, like I was saying earlier, if you want conscious rap, look to Rhapsody. And speaking of Rhapsody, actually, I think she's one of the rappers here that don't want to be considered good for a female MC. You know what I mean? Because people always be doing that sort of thing. Like even in the real world, they're like, "Oh, you're doing your job really well for a woman." Like, yo, what? And that's not limited to just women. Like people say that about literally everyone. Like you can be any person of color and you can have a white employer say, "Oh yeah, you're doing a great job. I'm really surprised. I'm proud of you." They probably won't even say I'm proud of you. They would look at you with astonishment that you're doing a great job. Like, bitch, I worked my ass off. But anyways, like that's a very valid point too, where you saying a rapper, or the female rapper in this case, is good for a female rapper is just mad disrespectful. Like it's like in hip hop, I mean it is a very male dominated sport and it is primarily African American men. So it's kind of like me, if I happen to be a great rapper and someone comes up to me and is like, "Yeah, you rap real good for an Indian boy." Like cool, like I'll take the compliment, but it's also on the other hand like low-key disrespectful. Like come on now. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to say regarding Rhapsody, because she really should be considered one of the elite MCs. Like she is one of the best. Not even, that's all I can say. And then like again, if you want conscious Rhapsody, and even sa-roc to an extent. Sa-roc I would kind of put in a mix of lyrical and conscious. Like conscious meaning like you're speaking with some sort of commentary on things, and you're trying to open the ears of the listeners to what's going on. That is still the case with sa-roc. Don't get me wrong, but she's definitely more in the lyricist lane where it's more about the bars. So you got that. I mean, even like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj back in the day, and Armani Caesar to an extent, like they're more about the bars. Like they have the punchlines, they have the metaphors, they have the weird ass like double entendres, triple entendres. Like sa-roc on her album, like that just dropped. She said something about going from Dr. Dre to Dr. Deepak Chopra. Like it's like, and the way she said it was like really cut up too. So it's like you don't even know if she's actually saying that. Like, and then even with yeah, and then like Megan Thee Stallion, like she makes typically more mainstream music, but it's has a much wider audience than that. Like I enjoy Megan Thee Stallion's music every once in a while. I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it all the time because that's just not my cup of tea. But I respect her as a lyricist and a rapper. I mean, she's not like a top tier lyricist by any means. I'm not going to say that because that's not the lane she's trying to be in. And then even with Armani Caesar, like that's again not the lane that she's trying to be in. Like she's making music for people who want that type of music. Then what else do we have? Oh yeah, then we have like Cardi B and Doja Cat. Doja Cat's kind of weird because I wouldn't really consider her a rapper, but she's kind of in the hip hop realm, so she's in this conversation. But Cardi B and Doja Cat are the I guess you can call them club rappers, because like they're kind of in that lane where they make a lot of club music, and that's what you're gonna hear in the club. And I think that's also what most people recognize them for, or club/poppy music, or poppier music. They are very different people though. Cardi B is very much like leans more heavily into the rap aspect of hip hop rather than Doja Cat. So that I'm just gonna stop referring to Doja Cat now. Cardi B definitely leans more into like kind of gangster rap, like just like she dips her toes in. I mean, so you have that sort of energy, but she's also just like, honestly, she's just like the way she raps is just very charismatic. So it's a very like enjoyable experience when you listen to her music. Like, sure, again, it is not everyone's cup of tea. Like not everyone needs to listen to what was it, Bodak Yellow, or I don't remember names of songs. Don't hate me. But you know, like there's a wide variety, and these are the same things that you would be seeing in their male counterparts. They rap about the same sort of thing. They rap about partying, they rap about clubbing, they rap about conscious things, they have lyrics. So it's like it really comes down to like the subject matter then. And like I mentioned already, the subject matter is really just the same shit. Like sure, there's gonna be tidbits and stuff of like the female's perspective, but think about it. Like, do you really think that women who listen to hip hop care that much about the male's perspective? Like, or if they're super interested into it? Like, to me, I kind of look at it like, oh, that's an interesting side. Like, kind of how you should take things in, I guess, in general. Like, don't just hate it right away. Like, try to talk about it and look at what it's about and what it's trying to do and stuff. But, you know, that's just me. I guess. Like, I don't know. It's weird. And it sucks because it's like female rappers have to work their ass off to get any sort of recognition. Like, so it's no surprise that the ones that you hear about are actually good. Like the ones that you hear of, because as if people actually talk about female rappers like that. The ones that are more known in the hip hop community, let's say, because the mainstream or general public aren't really gonna go out of their way to listen to female rappers. They just assume all women in music are singers, which is wrong. But regardless, the female rappers have to work their ass off to get any recognition. So the ones that do get recognition in the hip hop community are probably the ones that you should be listening to, and you shouldn't really be judging based off of like a pop singer trying to dip their toes into hip hop. Like that has happened every once in a while. I can't think of any examples right now because I'm tired, honestly. But that is a thing that has happened. But that, like I said, that is not always going to be the case. Like if they are getting recognized, they got something. Like, do you think Rhapsody would have any sort of attention if she wasn't good? Probably not. So I don't know, like, it's a really interesting take to be like, oh nah, I won't F with female rappers. Like why? Like, I just, like, even given the reasons that I've listed before, it's really hard to just wrap my head around it. Like, what? Anyways, I'm just gonna keep rambling on about this because I just don't get it. So, in the comments, let me know if you don't like female rappers. Let me know why, because I don't get it. Like, there has to be a reason that you just straight up won't listen to female rappers. I mean, I get it if it's just not your cup of tea, that if it's not that type of rap, but it's like, if you kind of go out of your way to not listen to female rappers, like, why? That's what I want to know. Like, people who always say, oh, women can't rap, or women shouldn't rap, shit like that. Like, why? Anyways, also let me know in the comments below what other female rappers are dope. I've listed a few of the ones that I'm aware of, but like I said, there are a lot out there. And there's more than what I've listed as well. I know there's more. Like, these are just the ones that I wanted to refer to. Anyways, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to. And stay safe out there.